Hi. So I wanted to make another video with my thoughts a little more put together, and kind of, I guess, a background before I get into other things that I want to talk about. I really want to get into what I've learned, what's working for me. So I grew up very small. I was always tall, but I was always very thin, to the point of people making comments. I had a teacher in like the 8th grade that would call me Skinny Minnie, and I was very active, played a lot of sports, and we didn't have great eating habits growing up. My mom is 5'11" and is very thin, and my dad is 5'7", but he has a smaller frame, and he's very muscular, but he's a smaller built person. So we had fudge rounds for breakfast. We had Pop-Tarts for breakfast. We ate, food was never an issue. Diet was never an issue. My mom cooked every night, and it was fairly balanced meals, I guess. I don't know if y'all can tell, but I'm from the South. I know I hide it very well. But, we eat a lot of rice, and we eat a lot of gravy, and we eat a lot of meat. There were probably days and days that would go by before I had a vegetable. But it was not something, my mom didn't make me eat something if I didn't like it. We weren't forced to clean our plate, nothing like that. Weight was just never an issue for me. It was never something I even thought about. And after I had my first daughter at 22, I gained a little bit of weight, I guess 20 pounds over what I was used to be in. Maybe not even that much, I'm not really sure. But I started working and was in an office with a bunch of women that were constantly talking about their weight and constantly talking about, needing to lose weight. And it made me think, well, maybe I need to lose weight too. I'm not the size that I was in high school, which let's talk about that too. Why do you have to be the size that you were in high school? I graduated high school at 17. I was a child. I wasn't even fully developed at that point. I don't know why it seems reasonable to me. I don't want to weigh what I was when I was 12. So that seems, I don't know why we focus so much on what we weighed in high school, but that's a whole other thing. So I dieted and I exercised. I got up every morning at 5:30. I went to the gym. I did a lot of weight stuff. And I calorie counted, and I got down to, what I was in high school. And about that time, we decided, so that went on for a few years, I guess. And then we decided to have my second daughter. And before that started to happen, I had started binging. I didn't know that's what it was, but I would start eating things and just eat. I would buy a box of those 100-calorie cookies, or, the little packets that used to be real popular back in like 2004, 2005, I guess. I would buy the 100-calorie packs of cookies, and they were like little packets, and then I'd eat the whole box of them. And at the time, I didn't really know what I was doing, but I was binging. That's what I was doing. So got pregnant for my second daughter, worked out to an extent while I was pregnant for her, but pretty much ate what I wanted, put on 50 pounds with that pregnancy, had her, and I'm a very competitive person. I'm very competitive. And so when I got back to work, and there was kind of an attitude from a couple of the women that I worked with that, I had lost a lot of weight. I had been in really good shape, and now that I had this kid, it was going to all be downhill from there. So I hit it really hard again, working out, counting calories, really paying attention. Got back down not long after I had her, my second daughter, to the weight that I was. And I maintained that for a couple of years. And then I stopped working to stay home with the kids, and things just I slowly started to put on weight. I stopped working out. I was eating poorly, and so I put some weight on. And I honestly can't tell you how much weight I don't know how much that was. It might have been 10 pounds, it might have been 30, I'm not really sure. At some point, someone that I know that I consider to be a very intelligent person did the HCG diet and recommended that to me, and so I did that, which was lunacy. It was 500 calories a day and like drops that you put under your tongue, and I did that and I lost some weight. But you cannot keep doing that. That is not something that you can do day in and day out and live on. So of course I gained some weight back and a little bit more, and then I tried Medifast. I lost about 30 pounds on that, and eventually went back to eating like a normal person, not packaged foods, not things that are quite so well, that's not true, probably processed things, but in a different way. And so I put that weight back on plus a little bit, and then it was like I woke up one day and I was 209 pounds, and I wasn't really sure how I had done that, how I was not happy. I didn't feel good. I have bad knees from athletic endeavors when I was younger, and my knees hurt all of the time, and I just wasn't happy. And so that is when I started the system that I did, which I don't really want to mention it here because I don't know. I don't want to really mention it here. If anybody is curious about what I did, I'll tell you if you want to message me. But it basically was high protein meal replacement shakes and then intermittent fasting, along with some other things. And I felt good on that. My energy levels were really good. I did not work out for the first, 4 to 5 months that I did it. And then I slowly incorporated walking and then weights and then working out. And, it got excessive again, because that is just my personality. I start doing something and I get super interested in it, and I start researching it like crazy. And, I want to know the optimal way of all the things. I want to eat at the right times of day. There's things that tell you that carbs first thing in the morning your body's not meant to process that. There are things that tell you that keto is the way to go because carbs, your insulin and all of these things. And here's the thing. You can find a study that supports anything. And, I think that kind of goes back to there's something that works for everyone. And in the same way that there is something that works for everyone, there are other things that don't work for that person. And so it's trial and error. And it was getting to know myself. I had to make myself be quiet. Because there's constantly that voice in my head that's telling me, you have to do this perfectly. You have to do this the right way. Find out the best way to do this. And I had to kind of make that voice stop, and I had to quiet myself, which was not an easy thing to do. It is still not an easy thing to do. It is something that I have to actively work on every day, to quiet that voice and kind of shut that up and listen to my body. I had to figure out what I actually like. I was eating things, and this is still something that it affects me. We're told that pizza and ice cream and French fries and Cokes they're just so good, and they're the things that you should want to cheat with, and they're the things that you should crave all of the time. And it turns out there are some of those things that I don't really like that much. I don't hate them. I will eat them. But eating those things made me feel like, hold on, sorry. It sounded like somebody was creeping up the stairs, and it was weirding me out. So what was I talking about? So I was eating those things. It's kind of like I mentioned the donuts thing. I like donuts. They're okay. But until I told myself I couldn't have them, I never really wanted them. But then when I couldn't have them because they were a bad food, it's all I wanted. And it, same thing goes for other things. Coke. I don't even really like Coke. It's too harsh. I drink it and I'm like, but I was drinking 6 Cokes a day because it got to the point that I couldn't have those things, so that's all that I wanted. And so I had to quiet that voice in my head. I had to make myself stop. And I had to kind of get to know myself, which sounds, look, I'm with you. When people would say things like, I had to really get to know myself, I'm like, okay, whatever, nut job. But it's true. You have to get to know yourself because we're so affected by what other people say and what other people do and what we think we should want. So anyways, that's just kind of my backstory. Like I mentioned yesterday, I had lost 60 pounds, and then last October is when I put on about 10, and then I would say from October to about December, January, I slowly added another 5, and I feel like in that time I really started to get things together. I really started to figure things out and to learn what worked for me, and I've maintained my weight really truly without a lot of effort. Now that doesn't mean that I don't know, I don't want to say that it doesn't mean that I do what I want, because I do. I've changed the way that I think about things, and before I'd have never in a million years eaten a salad. That was diet food. But now I know that there are certain salads that I enjoy that I would prefer over a pizza sometimes, or I don't like fried foods like I used to like them. Like, my tastes have actually changed. I've figured out the things that I truly enjoy, and instead of making those choices because I feel like I have to, I'm making those choices because I want to. But I'm still having the things that I like. Chocolate chip cookies are one of my most favorite things, and I have a almost 17-year-old daughter who loves to bake, and she makes chocolate chip cookies sometimes, 2-3 times a week. And when she makes them, I have sometimes 1, sometimes 3, sometimes 6. And it just balances out. For example, this last weekend, we travel a lot because she plays sports. But this last weekend, I knew on Sunday that we were going to a place out of town that has really amazing hamburgers. So I knew on Sunday I'd be having a hamburger. On Saturday, we were in a different town, and the place that we were at seemed to have really good burgers, but I knew what I was eating the next day. So I ate more vegetables on Saturday and just made a different choice because I kind of knew, but it wasn't something that I don't count what I'm doing. There was a time, before, a year ago, and that was something that the fasting did for me. I would fast and be really, really hungry, and then it would be time for me to eat, and so I would eat the amount that I only thought that I could, eat the max that I was supposed to eat, and then I was still hungry, and I wouldn't let myself eat because I wasn't supposed to eat any more than that. And now, if I'm hungry, last night I was still kind of hungry at 10:30, so I had one of those Built bars. It's got protein in it, and I really like them. It was something kind of sweet. Sometimes if it's kind of late, I eat a bowl of cereal because I'm still a little hungry, but I don't want anything heavy. And a year or 2 years ago, I absolutely would not have done that. I'd have woken up at 3 o'clock in the morning really hungry because at 9:30, 10, it was out of my window. I couldn't eat. Or I had eaten all that I could in my window, whatever. So I just made myself really miserable, and I don't think you have to be miserable. I think your body wants to work with you. We just try to force it into something different because, it's such a crazy thing that your body, you think you have control over your body, but you really don't. God made us. It's amazing how God made us, and he made our bodies really smart, and sometimes our brains get in the way of that. So I just wanted to kind of give a good background there's so much I want to get into. I see so many people, and I just feel, I don't know why I'm feeling so led to share all of this, but I am. And I'm seeing so many people that are so frustrated and unhappy with themselves, and trying to force themselves to do things that are just making them more unhappy, when the goal is to be healthy and to be happy and to enjoy this life that we've been blessed with. So that's all. The next one I kind of want to talk about what I'm doing now. The things that I eat have changed completely. I used to hate eggs, like a physical reaction to them. I would smell them and it was just like, ugh, bleh. And now I like them. So my tastes have changed. It's really a strange thing. So there's a lot of things I want to talk about. So that's it for today. I hope everyone's doing great. I hope you are learning about yourself and learning what makes you feel good, what makes you happy. Not everything is that's another thing. I really think that changing my focus off of food and my diet and not being hyper focused on that has also made a huge difference. Go live your life. There are other things. There are bigger things than how big your body is. There are more important things than the time that you can start and stop eating and how many calories you can have. Find something else. Find something that you love and spend some time on that. So anyways, that's it. That's what I had to say today. It's probably still really all over the place. I probably need to start making some kind of notes or like an outline so I can stick to what I want to say and not be all over the place. I'm that person. I'm the one that, the kids are in the car for 20 minutes because I said we were leaving and I'm still talking to whoever I'm talking to. So anyways, y'all have a great day. You're going to figure it out. Till next time. Bye.